Hello and welcome to my portfolio presentation. My name is Chance and we are going to be looking at a volleyball player with a high ankle sprain. Now, you might be sitting there wondering, Chance, what is volleyball? I'm glad you asked because I ask myself that every single day. Volleyball is a team sport that is played with 6 players on each side of the court. Teams must compete to score points by sending the ball over the net into the opponent's court. You can score from hitting the ball down onto the floor or through the mistakes of your opponent. You can play either indoors or outdoors on grass or sand, but today we're going to be focusing on indoor volleyball. Games are usually played to 25, but teams must win by 2 if the score reaches 24-24, with play continuing until a team reaches a 2-point lead. Some things about volleyball are that teams are only allowed to touch the ball 3 times in succession, but this does not include blocking. Players cannot touch the net at any time during play. Touching the net will result in a fault, and the other team will get the point. Players must stay on their side of the court at all times. If caught crossing the middle line between the 2 sides, it can result in a fault. Crossing the middle line is also very dangerous because that is the main area of play. Wink wink. Injuries can happen. Lastly, a single player cannot touch the ball more than once. There are different skills in volleyball that players must know. Passing, hitting, or spiking, serving, setting, and blocking. Now that we know what the sport is, let's look at the injury and the mechanism of injury. Woo! So, the ankle consists of 3 bones, the tibia, the fibula, and the talus. Surrounding these bones on the lateral side of the ankle are the anterior talofibular ligament, calcaneofibular ligament, and the posterior talofibular ligament. On the medial side of the ankle is the deltoid ligament, and lastly, the syndesmotic ligaments, which consists of the anterior inferior tibiofibular ligament, the posterior inferior tibiofibular ligament, and the interosseous ligament. In this situation, we are looking at a grade 3 ankle sprain, which results in 1 or more completely ruptured ligaments in the ankle due to a significant trauma or force applied to the ankle. Ankle sprains can either be inversion or eversion sprains. Inversion sprains can rupture the ATFL and the PTFL, while eversion sprains can rupture the deltoid ligament. Note that eversion sprains are less common due to the deltoid ligament being stronger. Sprained ankles can happen anywhere, at any time.
You see, broken ankles can strike anywhere at any time.
Broke ankles!
Ankle sprains can occur when landing awkwardly or landing on something from jumping, moving on an uneven surface like grass with potholes or uneven concrete, or cutting and moving in directions harshly and suddenly. Grade 3 ankle sprains can cause swelling and severe pain around the affected area, along with bruising and tenderness. Bearing weight can be painful, and range of motion can be restricted heavily. Alright, let's finally meet the athlete. We have Yance Chang. I would not want this guy on my team. Yance recently suffered a grade 3 ankle sprain, specifically a grade 3 eversion sprain, and now he's getting ready to go back to sport.
Fatality.
For the first exercise, we're going to be doing penultimate and block steps. We're getting this guy back into jumping form. The penultimate step and the block step are the last 2 steps a person takes before they jump. They are the most explosive steps out of an approach and are used to generate power for jumping. The penultimate step is the second to last step in this process. This step transfers horizontal momentum into vertical force. Pushing forward, this step is fast and explosive, but should be controlled in order to transition into the block step smoothly. Swinging the arms back also generate more momentum and power. And keeping good posture is important, staying upright or slightly lean forward. The block step is the final step in this process, ideally swinging the foot forward and planting. Think of it as driving your foot in the ground, transferring all your weight and momentum into jumping, utilizing the stretch shortening cycle to provide max force. For this exercise, we are going to replicate that by beginning with the lead foot 3-step approach into the penultimate step. If you are a right hand dominant player, your approach should be left foot, right foot, left foot. And I'm not the best lefty approach jumper, so bear with me, but ideally it should be right, left, right, alternating each foot for proper alignment when jumping. When ready, add a jump at the end, making sure to extend and drive your foot into the ground while swinging the arms up. The next exercise we are going to look at are pogo jumps. Pogo jumps are super simple but super effective and are basically just jumping in place. Pogo jumps help with building calf muscles like the gastroc and the soleus and building ankle stability. We can make them more challenging by adding a rhythm to it, with 2 jumps being small pogo jumps, with the last one being 1 explosive jump. We can further progress this into blocking, specifically focusing on the footwork, and then the final jump at the end, which is very similar to jumping in place. Some honorable mentions for strengthening exercises are weighted tibialis raises, which targets the tibialis muscle and strengthens dorsiflexion, and heel drops, which are more of a knee quad exercise, but is important to protect the body from the forces of landing from jumping. Lastly, which is my favorite on the list, simple hitting lines. This focuses on putting everything together. This starts first by receiving the ball from the setter, having the setter set the ball, and timing the ball and swing. There's nothing better than getting some good reps, repetitions, practicing technique, and getting comfortable again in sport. It's important because in the game, you won't have time to figure things out. Go out there and swing, have some fun, but most importantly, stay safe. And look at our guy all healed up now, back and playing. Tibiofibular ligament. The posterior, jeez, a single player cannot touch a single oh my gosh. Thank you for watching my portfolio presentation, and take care of your ankles.